And the Canva AI, so Canva is a design platform, and they already had simplified, making, graphics, flyers. We all want to have a poster for whatever event we have coming up. And now they have things such as Magic Animate, right? So if you only have part of the graphic and you say, hey, fill in the blank, it'll expand it, fill in the blank. Magic Edit, so if something is one color, you could change the color of it. Text to image, so that's what I was talking about earlier, similar to the DALL-E 3, right? You could type in the text, I want a unicorn writing a JCC logo in pink, purple, and blue. And it will do its best. Magic Switch, so you can switch things out, but definitely leverage and play around with it. When it comes to any tech tool, especially AI, you have to play with it. Again, you have to tell the dog fetch and give it a cookie and, see what you like. And as you start using it more, it'll work better for you. Like he said, right? As you give it more information. So experimenting with it, testing it will give it more information. And then when you go on one day and say, hey, can you, when you type in that text, it'll know exactly what you're looking for and give you the result a lot closer than the first time when you played around with that tool. Zoom AI, who's using Zoom? All right, the majority of the room again. So Zoom AI Companion is available on all Zoom Workplace accounts. So if you have a paid Zoom account, that's available. Some of the features that it has for you is that it can summarize the meeting, right? So this is after the session has happened. It will summarize the meeting and email it to you all. So in the past, people might have used like Phantom AI or Otter, right, to do the transcription. You don't need that anymore. It doesn't need to be a random person, another account. Like, why is the Phantom trying to get into the Zoom meeting? I don't want to let it in. Zoom AI Companion automatically has that. Another feature that's really cool about it is that while you are in a meeting, right? Let's say I join the meeting and I'm on time and everything. You join 15 minutes late. Instead of saying, hey y'all, what did I miss? You could literally search the AI Companion tool and get a summary of what has been said before you came in. And if your name was mentioned, it's like, oh, Georgie's gonna do this random activity. You could search it for your name. So you're like, then you could follow up, or you could just jump into the conversation after quickly reading that summary of the conversation currently in progress. Similar to what I mentioned with Google Meet, Zoom also has the translation to different languages feature. And a couple other cool tools, but definitely when, Google Zoom AI Companion for Zoom Workplace, and there are dozens of features that make it just more efficient. You could go from the summary to an email, and Zoom also has now a lot more tools in their toolkit. So who's heard of Zoom Clips? So Zoom Clips, if you have a workplace account, it's included. Zoom Clips allows you to clip out segments of the Zoom session, and using the AI summary tool, if you search the tool, and then it will identify based on the text, right? So it gives you a transcription, then it'll clip that section. So I just want to send you these 3 minutes. I don't, somebody comes to the meeting late and it's just like they need to read 3 minutes, but then you send them the 4-hour-long meeting and then they get mad at you or they don't pay attention to it. Yeah, so we've all been there. You could just clip out the exact part, and then it also has a landing page of itself, so you could send it out. Similar to like Loom, or even, does anybody use Loom, know what that is? So Loom is just like a screen recording tool. But similar, make it like a YouTube video, pretty much. You're sending out like a YouTube video, but it's just through Zoom Clips, and you'll see who has watched the video, how many views it's had, and I'm 80% sure it also allows for comments, so people could like give feedback on the video. So that's a very useful tool. Again, it's already included, you just gotta turn it on. And there's a bunch more. So definitely if you use Zoom, what we're gonna Google later, Zoom AI Companion tutorials. Microsoft AI, and I think this is the last one before we sum up, and there's a group activity I want y'all to start. Yeah, we'll have time. So Microsoft AI. So you've ever designed a PowerPoint and it looks terrible? You're just like, I have the information in there, but it looks horrible, right? So now Microsoft PowerPoint, they have magic design. So you can just click a button, it's like, oh, there's flowers, it looks good, they put transitions on it. So that just helps you out because Even myself, I went to undergrad for business communication, which was heavily graphic design classes, and I have done a lot of work as a designer. Sometimes you get stuck. You don't feel like it, but you know, you want people to have a good time and feel receptive, you know, beautiful colors, a nice presentation. So boom, click it. Now it has a bunch of options. You figure out which one you like. It does the fonts for you, all the colors, it all matches. It looks great. So that's one feature that you can use within SharePoint, or if you have like the desktop version of PowerPoint. Then Microsoft Copilot. So that's Microsoft's own AI, similar to Gemini or ChatGPT. You can search up different prompts. It'll push out answers. And while all of these platforms, you know, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, at the core are language models, right? They're not as heavy as some of the bigger ones. They each come from different breeders, right? Let's go back to dogs. They each come from different breeders. So what they know and how they respond is going to be a little different. I wouldn't say completely different, depending on the topic maybe, but a little different. So I don't know too many dog types. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say like a German Shepherd, whatever. But they're different dogs, right? And so while most dogs will fetch, sit down, lay down, how it does it or when it does it, or, you know, the dogs that can press the button and tell you that when they want food, I have no idea who's breeding those dogs. They're really cool. But each one does its own different thing. And so just be mindful of that, because you can search the same exact prompt on all three and get a completely, well, not completely, slightly different result. Right? I might look up myself or my name like, oh, tell me facts about Georgianne Gatton. I could put that in ChatGPT and I'll get a better response than I put that in Gemini. It's like, we don't know who that girl is. Right? And so just being mindful that each platform has its own data set, its own information that was fed in, because again, what it's fed in is what it will then be able to push back out to you.